Lash Babes! Thank you for tuning in our first video. My name is Sam and I am the owner of Princess Lashes. And today we're going to be discussing what it takes to become a lash artist. So the lash industry is booming right now. Everyone's getting lash extensions and it's definitely a newer industry compared to like the hair industry or the nail industry. So a lot of people are asking, how do you get into this industry? But what does it actually take to actually do it for someone? So today I just wanted to share kind of why I chose to get into lashes and what it takes to actually be kind of the best lash artist you can be. So one of the most common questions I'm asked is why I actually got into lashes and where did I get trained, all these sorts of things. So I'll be real with it. I actually am super addicted to lash extensions. I've had my lashes done for probably about, I'd say 2 years here now, non-stop, no breaks, and it just makes a big difference in my life and I am addicted. I've actually considered taking a break, but honestly I can't imagine life without my lashes. It makes such a difference, especially in the mornings. I get to sleep in a little bit more. I don't wear very much makeup, and it just gives me that boost of confidence, especially when I'm not feeling it sometimes. So at the time that I got into lashes, I was working full-time as an ultrasound tech. I actually still do work full-time as an ultrasound tech, but I had a lot of time in my evenings and my weekends, and I didn't really know what to do kind of thing, I guess. And I was honestly looking for a hobby, and this is what I decided on. I was actually also in recovery at the time for an eating disorder, and I had some really bad depression and anxiety. So I just had to find something that kept me grounded, and honestly lashing and starting this whole business has definitely kept me grounded. So I was chatting with my lash artist at the time, and we were just talking, and I kind of asked her like why she got into lashes and if she enjoys doing the lashes for others, and she kind of gave me good insight on what it takes to start off her lash business. So she suggested that I go onto YouTube and just watch some videos of someone placing on eyelash extensions. It's totally different when you're closing your eyes, you don't really see what's going on, so actually watching a video actually really helps. So that's exactly what I did. I went onto YouTube, I searched up eyelash extensions, and I watched someone actually put lashes on, and that's kind of how I learned how the process works. I didn't learn entirely off YouTube. It was just kind of giving me a feel for how lash extensions are placed. So little did I know, I actually fell in love with lash extensions. It started off as a little hobby, but it definitely is a new passion of mine. So there was a lot of things that I wish someone had told me before I got into lash extensions, and that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. So let's dive into it. Number one, you need to consider the funds that you need to start off this business and to even take a lash course. Do you have enough money for that? Do you have money for supplies? So with any business that you start, there's always going to be expenses, and those expenses, it's going to take a bit of time to actually gain that money back. So essentially you're almost working for free at the start before you actually start making your money back. So do the math, see how much it's going to cost for you to take the course, for the lash bed, the lighting, if you have an area in your house to even start up this lash business, or whether you're even wanting to work at a studio. It's all going to depend on you. The lash course that I took, they actually gave us a little kit, so we can actually do about 10 to 15 clients is what they were saying. So it's nice to be able to kind of use that as a startup before you have to start buying more mascara wands and iPads. I guess it also depends if you're going to be working in the studio. Sometimes the studios will provide that all for you. There's also the business side of things that you need to consider that is also going to cost you some money. There's things like liability insurance, a business license, or even like hiring an accountant. Those are all expenses that you're going to have to account for. So it also depends on where you live. So it depends on the city, the province, the state. Some places actually you have to be an esthetician to actually do lashes, so it depends on where you live. Moving on to number two, as a lash artist, it's actually quite hard on the body, I find. So when you're crouching over someone for a couple hours, it can be pretty hard on the neck and the shoulders, so you have to consider that as well, whether you're going to be healthy enough to be doing that. Along with that, you kind of have to consider how your eyes are. Do you have good vision? Is your depth perception good? Because things like that is very important for lash extensions. And since doing lashes, it's quite tedious, and you're working with your hands a lot, you also have to make sure that your hands are not too shaky. I did find that in the beginning my hands were really shaky, but I think it was all pretty much nerves. But in general, if your hands are shaky and you can't really do precise motions, maybe lashing might not be for you. The beauty of running your own lash business is that you can choose your own hours. You can set your schedule. So if you want to lash a lot, you can. If you don't want to lash that much, you don't have to. Me doing lashes part-time and doing ultrasound full-time, it can be quite hard on my shoulders and my neck actually. So I like that I am able to choose to work part-time or full-time with this. Now with lashing, it actually really didn't come naturally for me. I actually have to work really, really hard to actually kind of get my sets. The first sets I were doing were probably 3 hours for a new set of classics. So I find being a lash artist, you also have to have a lot of perseverance, a good work ethic, so then that way you don't give up so fast. Lastly, as a lash artist, you're going to be interacting with a lot of people, clients, so it is helpful to be someone who's quite outgoing and open to like ideas and communication. As a lash artist, you kind of want to connect with your clients in order to kind of keep them coming to you. Putting yourself out there is actually one of the hardest things, I think. When I first started doing lashes, I was really nervous to share it with all my friends and family that I was doing this. You kind of have to be really open with this. They're all little things that I wish someone had told me before I got into the lash industry. There were times where I wondered if I even should be doing this still, but I'm so glad I stuck through with it. I hope this helps. Make sure you are considering the funds that are going to have to be put into this whole business. Consider as well your body. Is your neck okay? Is your shoulders okay? Do you have good eyes? Are your hands steady enough? And then lastly, think about whether your personality is suited for this kind of job. So I wanted to thank everyone for tuning into my video today. It's my first ever video. I was super nervous about filming this, but I hope these tips help, and I hope it helps you into deciding whether you wanted to do lashes. If it did, and you did take your course, please let me know. I'd love to know kind of how it all went for you. So once you make your Instagram or your personal or your business page, link them below, and I would love to see.